Returning in this long-awaited brand new episode of PhonePod, Jake and I discuss everything from a new iPad Air 3, an iPhone 5 Special Edition, and much, much more, including pretty much everything we can expect to see at Apple's special event in March. We had a lot of great discussion throughout the episode, so be sure to stay tuned from start to finish.
You thought we were gone. But we're back with episode 23 of PhonePod. Hi, Sam.
Jake, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
The fam's back together.
Right. As always.
As always.
We have to wait, like a year before our next episode.
I think that's good. I mean, I think we need to just set up the 6-month rule, so sometime in, I guess, September we'll be back, or that's probably more than 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe August. That'll be 6 months. So, I mean, what's new? Anything going on? Anything that's changed since, I think, October 27th of 2015?
Yeah, quite a bit. Well, I went up with going with my iPhone 6S Plus 64 gigabyte. I went up going with that route, and I've had it for over a month now. I got it for Christmas, and
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I gotta say I am not disappointed with it. I almost had a heart attack, or not a heart attack, a panic attack at the AT&T store when I'm like, I want the iPhone 6S Plus. And he goes back and then he puts it on the table, and I'm like, oh geez, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe it's too big. But you know what? I do not regret my decision. I love watching 1080p video on it. Somehow YouTube lets me watch 1440p video on it too, so I can watch that crispy video on this thing.
Yeah, oh my god, I have to say the screen on that 6S Plus looks so good.
Mm-hmm. That definitely is my favorite part of my iPhone.
I gotta say it's nice. I mean, I like it a lot. I'm not sure if that'll be my next upgrade, but
yeah,
it's definitely
thank you,
good.
Sam.
It's awesome.
Yeah. What is going on with you?
Oh man, working like a freaking dog. I was talking to one of my friends, and I was talking to Luke, and he's just like, "You need to just take a break." But man, with YouTube and working at the quick service restaurant, it's just like nonstop every weekend throughout the week. But it's so much fun. I love it. Like, life is actually fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. We have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we do.
Apple's March event.
It's coming up fast.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. They only did one event last fall, and it just kind of like it would be like if I ran up to give Tim Cook a high five, and he like moved his hand as I was about to hit it, and then I just never got to complete the high five. So I've been like waiting for months for that next Apple event, and I think this is going to be it.
So does that mean there was only one last year?
Yeah.
No, there was two, right? No,
well,
only one?
I guess technically there were three. There was the one in March, then WWDC, but like as far as like a huge event, I would say there was only one, and that was in September with the iPhone 6S.
So there was a March event. What was the March event about last year?
So that was like I guess like announcing the final Apple Watch and then the MacBook.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's coming back to me now.
Yeah, definitely. It was a while. I mean, once again, it was a year ago.
Yeah. I'm not used to the March Apple events.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered that they had one last year, but I guess before that they didn't do them all that much. But apparently, everybody's speculating that they're going to show a lot off at this thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're right now the rumors are indicating new iPhone 5 SE, which that's an entire discussion by itself. We got iPad Air 3, Apple Watch updates, not anything big, but once again we'll get into that. And I mean, it's a packed show. This March event is going to be pretty big, and then maybe even another surprise that we'll talk about as well. So let's talk about this iPhone, because I am thoroughly intrigued by the idea of Apple going back to this 4-inch phone.
Yeah, and like I had assumed I never really got like the 5C. Other than the fact that I actually thought that they looked cool. I did like that that plastic looked really nice. I understand that it was plastic, but Apple can make plastic look really nice, and they didn't like. Whenever I saw somebody with that phone, it looked like really it popped, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of outlandish, though, because then they just threw away the 5 like it didn't happen, and then like it replaced it. But now this is weird because this is everybody's speculating that it's going to like basically be a redesign of the iPhone 5S, and it's gonna like also have the look of the 6 with the
it's like a
screen, and then like it's like, and it's also gonna have like better stuff than the 5S. It's like a Frankenstein, like
the Frankenstein phone, right? It's like it's gonna be a mix and match of everything, but it's like it's going back at the same time. It's a weird idea, but I mean, I read a stat the other day that I think that like a vast, not a majority, but I think it was 20 or 30% of people that own an iPhone are still on 4-inch models, and I don't know whether that's the price barrier to upgrade or.
We're at the point now, I believe, where people are happy with what they got. And we've seen this with several industries, including like the PC industry, is just computers in general, where processors and like all computer technology was doubling, and then everybody just sat down in a room and said, "Let's slow down," because everybody like we get to a point where it's good enough, and I have to say, getting this iPhone 6s Plus, that I had no actual problems with speed using my 5S that I still had. It still ran completely fine. I was still on iOS 8.4, but it still ran fine, and people just I feel like people don't see the need to upgrade if the phone is running completely fine.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, because like when I had my 4 and I got my 5S, oh gosh, it was a world's difference between the 4 and the 5S. The 4 was awful at that point. I could not handle that thing anymore. But this one, other than of course improved features and stuff, I didn't actually notice like a huge speed boost.
Yeah, for sure. It's like you said. I mean, I think it's getting so fast that it's good enough.
Right, and then so some people don't like. Our grandma don't need the big, even my parents, they don't need a bigger screen. And yeah, I guess that's who this is for, and I can see it with the lineup because we already have the Plus. And to just see them side by side by each other wouldn't actually be weird to me. It's the names that are gonna make it confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 5SE is just
like really we're going to go with that.
I mean, I have to say, if Apple's gonna do this special edition thing, I totally think that it would be so cool if they made it look like a special edition iPhone, not just space gray and silver, but like make it look similar to the original iPhone, but have it like super fast and make a limited number.
Be cool.
And, like, do you know how cool that would be?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Everybody would want one.
Yeah, the original iPhone design.
Like, do a mix and match of that.
The two-tone black and the silver, the black and the gray on the back.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be... So you think... So people are calling it a special edition?
Yeah.
So you don't think that this will last?
I mean, I don't know. It's like they're trying to make it sound like taking a step back is like special, but I feel like more people want bigger phones than smaller phones, so
right.
I almost want Apple to do a 4.7 inch or 5.5 inch special edition phone, but I don't know where like a place for that would be. I mean, almost at an event in March, halfway through the iPhone 6s cycle, I feel like it'd be really cool if they did a special edition. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to be going back to a 4-inch phone. Would you ever think about getting one?
No, I mean, even after a couple days of having this thing, this isn't for everybody, obviously. But I held our friend Adam's phone. He still has a 5S,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, it's so tiny, and like even after that, I held my friend Ben's phone. He has a 4 still. And I was like, what is this thing? It was like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a little baby phone. It's so weird because there was no problem with it, like the screen being that size until I had a phone with a bigger screen.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't go back. I mean, I try to type on 4-inch, like I have my iPod that's 4 inches, and trying to type on this thing, it makes me mad. I don't know how I did it, which sounds so spoiled and weird to say, but I mean, once you get used to these bigger screens, like you don't want to go back.
Right. Yeah, and I'd say that the 6S screen size is, or just 6 and 6S base screen size is the perfect size.
Oh yeah, it's
I
awesome.
I like my big screen, but it's obviously way more comfortable to hold a iPhone 6. Even holding your phone, it's a comfortable grip. Anything bigger than that is not as comfortable. And it would be interesting to see Apple even go thinner on the bezels, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, like it's I'm having a hard time picturing this thing, and I'm just kind of giving up and just kind of want to see what it's gonna look like, because we have here the speculation is it's gonna have an A9 processor. It will have live photos, but no 3D touch.
Which that seems like a weird combination.
That seems weird.
Go on.
I don't get why there wouldn't be a 3D touch. Like that, the 5S had one. I mean, is this going to be cheaper than the 5S? Like, that doesn't make any sense if it's going to be the same price as the 5S and then not have 3D. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. I'm thinking about Touch ID.
Yeah, I think it. I think it will have Touch ID.
Okay, yeah. Never mind then. I get that. I get why I wouldn't have 3D touch, because it's basically a 5S with a redesigned body, and the A9 processor was also the 5S's processor.
Oh no, actually the A9 is what's in the 6S, so it's gonna be pretty quick.
Oh,
so
that's.
I don't know, just the combinations they're doing seems kind of wonky.
Oh, the 5S had an A7 processor. Oh.
Yeah, so it's going to be fast but small, but not have the newest features of the 6S, but be better than the 6, but be smaller but not have the same. It's so weird. It feels a little different. I mean, I'm excited to see what it's going to actually look like. Because I think what's your favorite design iPhone? You said like the 5S or the 5?
I was watching your video yesterday. I have to heartily agree that the 5S design was the best designed iPhone.
For sure. So if Apple could pull off with a curved edge from the 6, mix it with a 5S or a 5, I mean, I think this phone could look amazing. And I'm ready. Like, I like the 6. I like the design, but I'm ready for something different. I'm excited for something new. I'm excited for a new look, and I think Apple could totally do that with the 5SE.
Oh, really?
But we're just going to have to wait. I mean, nobody really knows what it's going to look like yet. There hasn't been a 100% this is what it's going to look like confirmed photo. There's been a few that's like, well, it
the
might.
Concept.
Yeah. It might look like this, but nothing for sure. Yeah,
and I have to agree with that. I don't really know, like, I'm interested to just see what it's going to look like and it's going to be for. But I do have to say, if they're going to do this, I don't care if they do this. Like, if people get upset sometimes when there's too many Apple things. I don't care if they do this as long as they clean up their product line.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the part that makes me kind of upset about it. iPhone 5SE, iPhone 6S, iPhone 6S Plus. Like, can we just like call it like iPhone 6 mini, iPhone 6 like normal, iPhone 6 like big? Like I don't know like exactly, but like just SE is really killing me here. Like, why wouldn't we just call it like the iPhone 6 mini? Like, I know that's not original at all, but
it makes sense when you compare it to like the iPad mini, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. See, they already have a product named Mini. Why can't they just do it again?
Exactly.
Like, they even had the Mac Mini. Yes. Yeah, like, I'm not out of place at all there.
Why don't... this makes me so mad. It would make 100% sense for there to be the iPhone Mini, the iPhone, and then the iPhone Plus.
Yeah. There you go.
Because Plus and Mini are opposites. Yeah,
and I almost used to really be against just dropping the numbers, but we're at the point now where it's just it's too much. It's too much. It's a mouthful.
It is. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's continue on. We're also expecting an iPad Air 3 from this event, which I'm pretty excited about. Although I went and played with, I actually played with an iPad Pro in store the other day. This thing, I want to talk about this for a second. I was blown away, to be honest. I was
surprised too.
Oh yeah, you were with me.
I was there.
Completely forgot. Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. It felt great. It didn't seem too heavy. The screen was amazing. Did you feel the same way? Did you like it?
I do have to say, I thought it was not as big. Like, is not as gigantic and cumbersome as I thought. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it would be really like weird to hold, but it was just as weird for me to hold that as like an iPhone or an iPad Air, and it wasn't like super heavy or anything. We couldn't, unfortunately, find like a bit like, what's the resolution on it?
Oh gosh, I should know this.
But we couldn't find like a super like great video to play on it to see what the screen like will look like, but it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, it looked sharp.
Yeah, and in terms of like the sound, they kind of over exaggerated a little bit, like, but it still sounded better than what a normal iPhone or an iPad's gonna produce. Mm-hmm. One thing though that did not the iPad Pro, I was impressed by it, but still not impressed by the
pencil,
the keyboard, and the pencil.
The pencil was nice.
It was cool. It was cool to use.
I'm with you, but I don't know. It's called the iPad Pro, but I still have a really hard time seeing quote unquote professionals using it.
Right.
I don't want to call myself a professional, but I could not do work from the iPad Pro.
And yeah, I have to agree with you there. And I want, like, I feel like they feel like this. They want professionals to, like, view iOS and, you know, the mobile platform is a place where they could actually edit video, do art, you know, run these heavy programs because the iPad Pro has a lot of power. But I'm just ingrained in my brain cannot do that without a desktop environment. It's just, it's cumbersome.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so much easier to use a desktop environment to accomplish stuff like that. Because the workspace is so much more orientated to so many more buttons and many more features. And it's hard to have that and then play around with a watered-down version of it on this tablet.
Yeah.
That is powerful, but, I mean, it just goes back to what I originally said, and I know it wouldn't make any sense, but, like, I wanted it to, you know, something like run OS 10 somehow, and I want to talk about this later too, but eventually Apple has to give into a hybrid, like for it to make sense for it to make sense to buy this device.
Yeah, for sure. And I just don't think it's there yet.
Yeah.
All right. So iPad Air 3 is going to be pretty cool. We got a little bit distracted on the iPad
Yeah,
Pro.
sorry.
No, I brought it up in the first place. But actually, it kind of ties together because the iPad Pro doesn't have 3D Touch. And sadly, doesn't look like the iPad Air 3 is going to have 3D Touch. And I'm not saying that this is a... Yeah, I'm not saying that...
You mean the iPad Mini 4?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't have it either, but... I feel like Apple's had enough time now since the iPhone 6s launched to incorporate this into the iPad. And while it's not the greatest tech ever, it's still nice. And I still use it, and I like going to multitasking with it, and I like launching quick actions from app icons every once in a while,
Right.
and peeking and popping links, I think, especially would make sense on a huge screen on an iPad. So I'm kind of sad about that not being there, but... From the iPad Pro, we're expecting to see the 4-speaker design, which I'm extremely pumped for if that's true, and then even a smart connector. So the speculation now is that the iPad Air 3 might work with the Apple Pencil and with the smart keyboard and the smart cover and all that stuff.
Okay. The the iPad Air 3, that would actually make a lot of sense for them to do, to take all the stuff from what they basically launched for the iPad Pro to bring it down to the iPad Mini, since the technology already is there. Like with the pressure screen for they didn't have 3D touch, but they had the screen for the pencil to work that had like pressure somehow, which is interesting that those are different things. So that would be that makes sense, and it would be great to see the 4-speaker design on the iPad Air 3, because that would make a lot of sense.
I think it'd be fantastic. I'd be very excited for that. Also, interestingly enough, there's rumored to be a rear LED flash on the back, so something from an iPhone.
Oh. On an iPad.
Yeah. Pictures on an iPad, do as you will.
I mean, that's a running joke at this point, right?
I mean, it's becoming more common, but it's never going to be as good. I take that back. In my case, like the iPad Air 2 does not have as good as a camera as the iPhone 6s, so I'm always going to use the 6s. If they put like a 12 megapixel camera with 4K in the iPad Air 3, then heck yeah, I would use it if it was the exact same or better, but I'm never going to use an inferior iOS device when I have a better one at my disposal. And I guess it makes sense. Like, some people just want to take pictures, but I don't know. The whole picture thing on an iPad, I've never really jumped on board of just yet.
Yeah.
So, they're also...
Yeah.
My hopes were shattered when I saw this next rumor, because I really wanted an Apple Watch upgrade this spring, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that.
Yeah. When did they originally talk about the Apple Watch?
I mean,
talk about the launch date of the next Apple Watch?
That was last March.
Okay.
So I thought it would have made sense to, like, you know, on a year cycle to like upgrade it, right?
Right.
But it looks like they're waiting a year and a half, and they're going to start doing the literal hardware watch upgrade in September of this year. So a few months away.
Yeah, and then there's speculation about an upgrade program.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That would be really interesting.
Really, like, make it worth owning one, in my opinion. I hate to hate on that, but I feel like some people wouldn't want them to release a new one, because then they have to buy it.
Yeah, and then people will be like, "Oh,
every year
Apple's taking our money."
And if they release like an upgrade program where you could turn in the old one and then, get a new one, that would make it like worthwhile. I think for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that would be awesome. I would really like that. And I mean, it'd make 100% sense to me. But you never know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. I'm excited for the future of the watch. I mean, it looks like basically this March, so in a month or so, they're just gonna focus on new bands and hopefully new software. That's also a rumor. I just want them to figure out a way to optimize it to be fast. The Apple Watch is fine and it's okay. I just need it to be faster. I've talked about this before, I'm sure. It's just not there yet. So
I've seen it firsthand. You using it that animations can lag and there's kind of the the typical with the Apple Watch or with Apple first gen Apple hardware that the first generation is always not that great and the second generation is a lot better and lasts forever.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Example.
iPad 2, man.
I was just going to say example, see iPad 2.
Yeah.
Literally what I was going to say.
And the everybody gets the second generation and keeps it forever. iPhone 3G. Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. I am excited. I almost forgot to mention this, but in March, we're also planning to see some pretty huge software overhauls for iOS and the Apple Watch and OS X and even the Apple TV now. So the main thing I want to talk about is iOS 9.3, which has been in beta for a few weeks. I don't think you've had a chance to try it out yet, have you, Jake?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to spoil it for you. It's awesome. It is very cool. I'm not running it on my daily driver yet, just because some apps don't work 100%. I don't know what it is, but if you're running a beta, some apps from the App Store just literally refuse to open.
What?
Which doesn't make any sense. So it'll give me like an error. So I can't really go on a phone that can't use, like it was a deliveries tracking app, and I feel like that's kind of important, and I want that on my daily driver.
Right.
So I can't have that just yet. So I'm running 9.2.1 on my 6S, but on my 6th, I'm running iOS 9.3, and it's awesome. I think I just put it on my iPad Air 2 as well, working very well, very smooth.
Oh, sweet. Is it have you noticed it being smoother / faster than iOS 2.1? Or iOS 9.2.1?
9. I don't know. It's still in beta, so I feel like it's about the same. But I would love it to be faster. Although 9.2.1 is not bad in any way.
No, it's not bad at all. I just wish that when I turn my iPhone 6s Plus in landscape mode and use the 3D touch, that it wouldn't go into like 10 FPS.
Gosh, that's so ridiculous. I need to make a video on that just because I feel like that's a huge problem.
Yeah, that would be great. Apple, please fix the iPhone 3G or iPhone 6s Plus glitch where it when you go into landscape mode, guys, and you use 3D touch, like it like lags so much when you're using it. It's really weird.
It is. It's very, very strange. So I hope iOS 9.3.
Oh wait, it's working better right now. Excuse me one second.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as Jake's gone for just a second, I wanted to thank all you guys for tuning in so far. I think there's 9 of you guys watching right now, which is awesome. And if you're listening at a later time on iTunes, I want to thank you for watching as well. You guys are awesome. I want to apologize once again for just forgetting to go ahead and make these every week because we've just been extremely busy. But we're back, and we're happy to be here.
Yeah, and then the last one we tried to
you want to tell them?
Yeah, sure. The last one of these we tried to do, we were recording it, like, I called Sam on Skype, and then it was like, oh, that's weird, there's, like static, like, pop music in the background of, like, your call, and he's like, oh, I don't hear it. I'm like, okay, that's really weird. So, like, okay, well, we'll just record it, and then use, like, FaceTime audio to, like, talk to each other. Because we record these on a separate program while we're doing this. And then when you were putting together, Sam, you text me, Jake, my whole track has like this music playing in the background. And we're like, oh no, so we had to scrap it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it or know why, but it just happened.
Yeah, and you speculated that your microphone, basically what makes the most logical sense is somehow Sam's microphone picked up a radio station signal. So
yeah, I don't, just saying that it literally sounds like we're the tin hat people.
So fake. Yeah,
but it's so weird. Very strange.
Yeah, we got so many I'm just like so happy. There's so many comments.
I know, I'm struggling to keep up. It's awesome.
Yeah. Because it's hard to talk and then like read these at the same time.
Yeah, once again, if you guys are listening on iTunes, you can follow us on Twitter at iUpdateOS or at Agent Revelation or at PhonePodcast. That's our official Twitter for the podcast, and we'll always let you guys know when we're recording live and when you can join in, communicate with us on the stream. So somebody in the chat actually brought up a very interesting question that we had on the talking points list for this episode. And that's about the headphone jack on the next generation iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously with the iPhone 7, everybody is speculating, the new stuff. And the only thing that's really like set in stone, big feature is obviously the riddance of an iPhone 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, like, I hate it, but at the same time, I also, it's okay. Like, I get it and I don't get it. Apple, they've lost this reputation for this, unfortunately. But they used to be the people who changed ports. They used to make new ports be the standard. Apple started USB. They didn't make it, but they started that as like the standard, and their last attempt was Thunderbolt, which I guess was too expensive for everybody to adopt. But yeah, like I still really, I have headphones and I use them on my iPhone. I don't use them a ton, but when I want to be able to, I'm going, I like when I'm at school or something and I'm in a class that I'm allowed to listen to music or something, I like using that. Now, at the same time, though, Lightning ports they can be used to, like, transfer better sounding audio, because for audiophiles, they can use these high files and put them on their phones, and being able to use the Lightning port and using a DAC, an external DAC or amp on headphones and stuff would improve the audio quality. And yeah, so that's one of the pluses to it. Also, I've been looking at Bluetooth headphones because I really hate being tied down to stuff. I really hate cords, like, connecting me and stuff. Like when we play Xbox and stuff, I use a wireless headset, and I don't like headphones usually in general. I like speakers. Now, obviously, people prefer headphones over speakers. There's people who like that, and I'd say maybe the majority. And it's going to be a pain in the ass if you want to use your old headphones, and then Apple is going to, make you pay like 50, this is a total exaggeration, like $50 for a new adapter, like to transfer it from Lightning to the headphones, which is, unfortunate. Obviously you would be able to get cheaper ones from other people, but there's pluses and, there's additions and subtractions, from both sides. It would be better, because the port, I had just watched a video recently. It's back from it's an old port. It's reaching back to like the 1800s, like not the small version of this port, but the the large 1/4 inch, I think is what they call it, the big headphones.
Yeah, I think it's a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, that one has been around for a long time, and this is just a smaller version of it. So it's good, but there's the lightning port could be used to make it better. But and then once again, you would lose what you have. You'd have to buy new headphones. You wouldn't be able to charge it at the same time that you listen to whatever, unless they put 2 ports on there, which would be kind of funny. But I doubt.
That would be so weird.
I doubt seeing them do that. And one plus is they're obviously going to include headphones in the package.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's nothing wrong with the earpods, other than the fact that if they don't like fit in your ears well. But they don't hurt your ears, and they sound great. So if it doesn't fit in your ears, that sucks.
Rip Sam.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they don't work out
they
very
do
well
not
for you.
like my ears.
But they sound pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on this. I don't have like a major like you're kind of suggesting it'll be like a slight inconvenience, but I think if there is the possibility for higher audio quality and just moving things forward. I mean, it's an old technology, the 9mm headphone jack. I mean, it's been on the first iPhone up to the iPhone now. Not that it's bad or anything, but
right.
I don't know.
And I'm not an audio file.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like as long as it does not sound unclear, I'm good with it. Like, yeah, I would love to get into like higher fidelity audio, but those files get so large, and like it. Good enough is good for me. Like it as long as it sounds pretty clear, and when I plug in some nice headphones, it sounds pretty good, like really good.
Uh-huh.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Like I think I'll be okay when or if it changes. So that'll be this September. It'll be very, very interesting. Of course, I'll be updating all of you on the channel if we learn any new information that's huge like that. I think I made a video on this like a month or two ago when the very first few rumors came out, but very interesting overall. Yeah. I will be very intrigued to see what happens at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else you want to talk about? Any other huge news that we just forgot to mention?
Yeah, like, one thing is that, like, we've said before, Apple's kind of, like, it's lost its way in some senses of what its original view was. And I kind of want to see more uniformity across all of their products, like I was stating earlier, with the name of iPhones, with, like, we have 3 different sizes of the iPhone now, 3 different sizes of the iPad. We have, like, the MacBook Air, and the MacBook should be called the MacBook Air. And, like, I think they just kind of need to get some of their stuff together. And I think that this needs to be the year that Apple irons out everything.
Yes.
Like, let's drop, if you're going to have the MacBook, you need to, like, drop the MacBook Air line if you're going to do that, even though... And then, like, a MacBook is the same price as a MacBook Pro. Like, which, I don't know about you, but I know which one I'm buying out of either of those two. And then, like, and this can't really be talked about that much now, but, iOS 10, will it be basically just a regular upgrade like iOS 9 where, there was, like, a couple features, but, like, it was still basically the same? also like 8. Pretty much. There's just kind of been incremental updates, and I really want to see something done with iOS. And I don't think this is going to happen this year, but some type of hybrid iteration where we could fully take advantage of mobile devices and use them professionally. I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah, that would be that'd be something to see.
Yeah. But and then lastly, hopefully we'll see a redesign of MacBooks.
Oh my goodness!
At this March event.
I forgot to mention this, but if nothing else is announced at the March event, I want to see a MacBook Pro that's the most powerful MacBook Pro ever, but with the design of the MacBook. Or something similar, because...
Mic drop.
Our guys will talk to you later. No, like, if you think about it, there really has not been a redesign of the MacBook Pro ever, or for a long time. Now, yes, it got thinner, and it's lighter,
it got thinner,
and there's
lighter,
fans on the side, but from the MacBook Pro in 2007 or 8 or 9, it has the black
bezel.
Yeah, like the black bezel, the silver body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great, and it works super well, and it's relatively light.
There's nothing wrong with it, but
I want to see it in the body. Now, it doesn't even have to be as thin as that, just like the style.
The slant.
And where like the limited bezel and the slant and the redesigned keyboard and redesigned from the ground up and the new trackpad and all that good stuff. I would love to see. Is it going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I honestly haven't heard a lot of rumors about it, but I know I'm going to need a new laptop for college coming up, and I'm not going to buy one until they update the MacBook Pros.
Yeah, then that's my same situation and wish there. Because I'm going to have to get one, and I'd much rather prefer getting a redesigned one with newer hardware, better graphics, for years that I'll be using it for.
If it means going to college without a new MacBook and just bringing my current one, I will stretch the time out until they redesign it, because I am not going to drop $2,500 on a 15-inch MacBook Pro and then have it updated and make it 3 or 4 times better in a week or two.
And also, Apple, make sure you put in a freaking quad core.
That would be great.
At least a quad core i5 in your 13-inch models. I didn't even know there were dual core i5s until I took a look at Apple's website. Mm-hmm. That these still exist. That there's still dual core i5s.
Yep, it's a thing. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, it was great catching up with you. I'm hoping that the audio from this one's fine. I think, based on the indications in the chat, the stream has actually been pretty much perfect. So, huge shout out and thank you to everybody who's listening. 15 likes on the video means a ton.
Guys, I mean, there's so many comments here. Like, I wanted to answer more questions, but I can't sort through one of these. If you want Sam's thoughts on the jailbreak, watch his Q&A video.
Long story short, not really into the jailbreak thing anymore. So I'll leave that at that.
It's dying.
We'll leave that at that, so Apple doesn't take down our podcast. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, Jake. Once again, pleasure. Had a ton of fun talking to you.
Same to you, Sam. We tried to put as much as we could in this episode because we haven't talked in a while, and I think we did a pretty good job.
For sure. All right, man. Talk to you later.
See ya.